I mean, a parasite is anything that robs you of your resources, right? In this aspect, we're really talking about our food supply.
Mm.
So a lot of the bacteria in our gut aren't parasites because they have a symbiotic relationship with us. They give back, so they're not just robbing, right?
Mm.
But the parasites I think you're referring to are things like worms and protozoa and flukes and things like that that
And
we
whatever
get.
would cause acne as well.
Yeah, so well the thing is with these parasites is they release toxins, and it's the toxins that could potentially be causing acne. When I'm working one to one with people, I strongly suggest if I feel they might have a parasite that they would actually test for it. And there's lots of really good stool tests around now. My experience with medical tests, not so good. So in the UK, I can't talk about other countries, but I've literally had clients coming to me saying, I have night sweats, I grind my teeth, my anus is always itchy, I've got blotches on my skin, which are all symptoms of a parasite infection, right? And they'll say, I ran a stool test with my doctor, I definitely don't have a parasite. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you do. They've got low energy, they literally got all the symptoms of they've lost weight, they've got all the symptoms of a parasite infection. And a few times I've taken a big risk and I've said, well, I'll tell you what, you get a test done. If it comes back negative, I'll pay for it. I've
That's a
never
good
had to pay
deal.
out. I've never had to pay out, right? I probably wouldn't do that anymore because you never know. Um, but if I'm working one to one, I would strongly suggest that someone does do a stool test. Now, sometimes, people are limited financially, and that's not, some people might live in a certain place that just don't have access to it.
Mhm.
So I would say if you don't have the ability to do a test, I would probably recommend you do a parasite cleanse once or twice a year. They don't really cause any major harm. I mean, they would if you did them all the time,
Mhm.
but once or twice a year is not going to cause too much harm.
And
So,
and what would it entail?
so most of them, they're either in tablet form, some are in liquid form. Some of the liquid ones, I don't really want to put people off, but they're absolutely horrendous. There's one in particular one, but it's a very very good product. I remember you take like there's three different ones that you take. Like the A is pretty bad. The B is probably the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. The C, not much better. And then other people say, actually, I quite like it. To me, so, I mean, I haven't drunk alcohol for nearly 20 years now, but some of those drinks and they're just horrendous. Like,
Like what the really strong, powerful ones, like
yeah,
the ones that burn, and it's like nail
yeah, they're
varnish
kind of,
remover.
that's what that parasite cleanse reminds me of in terms of the
Oh.
taste. But there are other ones that you can take. Like there's particular ones that I found again really really effective. They're just a capsule. You just swallow it. It's just a herbal formula, but really really effective. I mean, you can get a bit of a aftertaste,
Hmm.
but nowhere near as bad as the liquid one. But um, yeah, they're really powerful. I find. So it can be just sometimes just a liquid that you put into water and just drink it, a certain amount of times a day, or it might be taking capsules certain times a day. Um, Whenever you're doing anything like that, you can get what's called a Herxheimer reaction. So a Herxheimer reaction, so if you're doing like a parasite cleanse or a fungal cleanse, as these things die off, they start to dump toxins into the bloodstream. Now, if you don't have a good detoxification system, a good elimination system, what will happen is the toxins will start to build up in your bloodstream, and temporarily your skin might get worse,
Mm.
right? Again, I do warn people about that in the book, that sometimes when you do these cleanses, your skin can get worse before it gets better. So, and again, there are things you can do to minimize the Herxheimer reactions as well. You generally get what I would call flu-like symptoms. You feel like you've got a bit of a flu, like energy's low, your joints might ache, etc. Just don't feel quite yourself, kind of thing. Um, but yeah, there are things you can do, but the better your digestive system is, the better your elimination system is, the better your detoxification system is, the less likelihood you'll get any of those reactions.